Diddy ain't quitting yet. Apparently, he's not giving up the hopes of getting out of prison in time for the sentencing. He has filed a different type of way to try and get out because he's looking at it this way. He feels like he's the only man still jailed for consensual sex. And when he brings out the kinds of guns he's bringing out for this particular one, it makes sense. Listen, again, we are not the kinds of people to defend Diddy to the point where we say he's innocent of everything that he's been charged of. No, no, no. We just think that they did a poor job of presenting something to get him put away. With that being said, that's our disclaimer. We're not in his corner. However, we are going to cover this from every angle. Now, the latest thing is that we heard before this whole fiasco with the three not guilty and the two guilty with the Mann Act and all that stuff. We had heard that he was not going to get bail. Okay, no bond for him. He's not going to get it. You're going to wait in prison until your sentencing in October on the 3rd. Well, the lawyers are seeing this as a miscarriage of justice because based on other crimes kind of like his, this seems unprecedented to keep the man in prison for apparently no reason other than to just drive a point home that seems a little bit without merit. Let's put it like that. They don't seem to have a whole lot of reasons for doing what they're doing because everybody else that have been through this did not get this kind of treatment. Now, do they have a case? They kind of do. They kind of do because they have a bunch of other cases that they brought forward with similar results, similar criteria, and similar convictions that did give either bond or didn't even have to ask for it, were just issued. As we know, he's been convicted on 2 counts under the Mann Act for transporting prostitutes for sexual stuff. All that. Okay, so right now it's the 2 male people that he brought over, and even though he's saying it was consensual, the whole idea of crossing lines and money being exchanged, that's what brought in the whole. Okay, as for the sex trafficking by force, that was thrown out. The racketeering, that was thrown out. So we know the history where that has come in. He is now in prison. They offered the $50 million thing. That was rejected. They said that he was probably going to be a liability when it comes to the jury. He could be either for witness tampering or even public safety. All that idea is what the judge was concerned about. His legal team says that that could not be possibly part of the reason, especially when we put forward the criteria of the bond was a no transportation, removal of passports. So all that concern that you say you had, you can't really say you did because we took that off the table when we offered you this idea of bond. And no one else under this circumstance was held to this account. So they were trying to figure out the why. Now, they go back all the way for the legal reform. They go way back. They go to the 4th, they go to the 8th, they go to the 5th. They hold all these amendments that they go to in order to try and find out whether or not what's being done, one's constitutional, or even 2, legal by the definitions of the acts that he's been at least judged that he's guilty of. Now, they bring in a Bevins lawsuit. They bring in Federal Tort Claims Act. They bring in a whole bunch of this stuff. And a lot of it have to do with things that revert around the 4th Amendment and the 5th with due process. The question still remains as to why it is that he is enduring this particular type of scrutiny for a crime that seemingly on the surface, what he was guilty of for the first time offense, that no one else has been held to. There must be some other reason. Now, as we know, on the 3rd, sentencing could range from 3 to 5 years to 20 because they both carry a maximum of 10 each. Whether or not he gets that is still left to be seen. But their theory about the why he's being kept is still unanswered. They bring in these particular cases. Jack Johnson in 1913, when he was convicted of the Mann Act for a racially charged case, he wasn't held like this. Fairleigh Drew Camenetti, same thing. Charlie Chaplin, Chuck Berry, all these names they keep bringing up as people that were unprecedented, that convicted of the Mann Act, but never held to the kind of standard that Diddy is. Now, if you're going to tell me that he is some sort of a threat to the public, you have to at least present me the how, because if you're talking about guns, you never brought that up. If you're talking about violence, it was only towards one person. So where, again, is that concerned? Where in any of the stuff you've laid out that he has been or is in active violation of doing something to the kinds of level that you're saying, hence keeping him behind bars? This is what the lawyers are saying, not what us, not us. They think it's because he is a high profile person in these days, and the way social media is, that's affecting things. They're thinking the media has a say on this and why people are acting the way. He's being unfairly treated simply because of what people have been saying about him, but not what the courts and what the outcome has said. Now, what's going to happen past this point? Will they actually give him bond before October 3rd? I'd highly doubt that. Just because a lot of the cases happening now are not really seen as just based on court rulings. A lot of them are based on public opinion. And that's unfortunate because now you're getting tried by people that you shouldn't be tried by and held liable by people you shouldn't be held liable for. Right now, he's just waiting. And they're probably going to at least continue to try and format a way for him to be released before his sentencing date so he can have some time free. Will it happen? Unknown. For all the things that they're bringing forward, for as much of a solid case they may have defensively for the early release and for bail, it still remains up to the judge. And so far, not a leg has moved. But do you think he's being wrongly targeted? Again, for the things that they said he was going to be guilty of, they never brought the proof to. So it's not really on the onus isn't on him. This has to do what was proven, and nothing was proven to the point what they're trying to be saying they're worried about now. So should he be released, at least on bail and bond, until October 3rd? That's the question now. Y'all answer it. That'll be up to you. We want to see what your thoughts are. Should he be remaining in jail? Should they let him go for whatever free time he has left if the sentencing goes for 5 years, even to 20 years? Should he be given that time? Or do you think he's too much of a monster, give him no time at all, freedom, and keep him in bondage as long as possible? Whatever your thoughts are, please leave them in the comment section below. We look forward to hearing your thoughts on this one.